What up, bye babes? For today's video, I wanted to answer this question that I see on social media all the time, which is, can bisexual men be bottoms? Now, for those of you who don't know what a bottom is, when you talk about sex with people who have penises when they have sex with each other, so there's like a top, a versatile, and a bottom. A top is the one who is doing the penetrating with their penis. A verse is a person who penetrates or is penetrated, and a bottom is a person who is penetrated. So wow, this is where we've landed. This is what it's come to. I've seen this question all over social media for years now, and it really irritates me because, first of all, I dislike this idea of these labels and people sort of like forming personalities around these labels. It just gets very annoying, to be quite frank. And a lot of times in same-sex dating, people who are not compatible sexually, so like if you're a top and someone else is a top as well, they kind of will not even try to see if they are compatible whatsoever. They will just kind of go their separate ways. And similarly with people who are both bottoms, they won't even try to like see if there's something to negotiate. And also with people who are verse, you would think that versatile people would be able to like maybe partner with anybody, but a lot of times there is a lot of like stigma around being verse, which in my opinion is very similar to stigma around being bisexual. But I will not get into that in this video. I will just answer the question, can bisexual men be bottoms? Now, I've noticed that there is a huge conflation with things like sexuality, masculinity, and what a person enjoys pleasure-wise. And so much of what it means to be a man oftentimes is tied up around being the penetrator and being the dominant one and not allowing anybody to penetrate you, not allowing anybody to touch your ass. And so I think these ideas around gender and pleasure are really antiquated, obviously, and these ideas really is what brings this question of, can a bisexual man be a bottom, to the forefront in the first place. If we didn't have these antiquated ideas about gender, then that question I don't think would even exist. It is such a silly question in my opinion, but it is very common. You can be a person who is a bottom and a power bottom, a bottom who is a dominant bottom. So yes, you're being penetrated, but you are dominant in bed. You could be a person who is a top, so a person who penetrates someone, and be submissive in bed. Conversely, like this sub-dom sort of category has no bearings on your sexuality. It has no bearings on who you find attractive, on the genders that you find attractive. This really speaks to what really turns you on in bed, not necessarily who turns you on. So it's very weird whenever I see this question, especially when we know about male anatomy, which is that the prostate is in the anus, and this is just another place to find pleasure in your body. So it's just like these ideas around the types of pleasure that you can receive. They also affect people who are not bisexual. They affect gay men, and they also affect straight men. And there are a lot of straight men who start to question their own sexuality because they enjoyed the woman that they're being sexual with engaging in some anal play or rubbing their butt or whatever. And it's like, that is not the same as who you are attracted to, the genders that you are attracted to. The kind of pleasure that you like in your body is not the same as the gender that you are attracted to, or genders that you're attracted to. It's not the same at all. And then so to get really specific with like bisexual men, right? Some bisexual men only enjoy being penetrated by other men. So when they're with men, they only want to be penetrated. And when they are with women, they want to penetrate women. And that is like, it's like, oh yeah, kind of makes sense for like, if that's what you like, cool. And some bisexual men feel as though they only maintain their bisexual status if they have never been penetrated, if they do not enjoy being penetrated. It's that same idea of like masculinity and like, oh, I have to be masculine. And even though I'm with another man, if I allow myself to be penetrated and like it, that will make me like too gay, like gay. And in my opinion, I think that men like this have some work to do when it comes to internalized homophobia and when it comes to gender and gender performance, and also understanding what bisexuality is. But it's very common in a lot of bisexual men. A lot of bisexual men will not allow themselves to be penetrated or be interested in any sort of like anal play. And I mean, to each their own. It's your body. You can do whatever you want with your body. But I'm just saying that I think that is certainly a symptom of internalized homophobia. I think that is certainly a symptom of internalized biphobia. And I think that these ideas about gender, we have to fight harder to escape them, especially as bisexual men. And this idea that your attraction to women is delegitimized if you are penetrated, if you are with men, if you are really gay, if you're doing really gay stuff, right? It needs to die. It really needs to die. We need to really do more work to remove the shame of same-sex interactions. We need to do more work to undo the shame of being penetrated and being sexual beings and having like a free and fluid sexuality. Yeah, we need to do a lot of work in that department. And that kind of leads me into like this other topic, which is very adjacent, which is the femininity masculinity thing with men. It's like, if you are feminine, people are gonna assume that you are gay, like I've talked about, and if you're masculine, people are gonna assume that you're straight. And inside of like being a feminine man, if people within like the same-sex gay world, it's like, oh, if you're feminine, that means you're a bottom. If you're masculine, that means you're a top. And once again, these ideas are very antiquated. It's about experiencing pleasure in your body and what you're open to and what you enjoy or what you prefer. Being feminine or being masculine doesn't have a direct correlation with the types of pleasure that you enjoy or that you're open to. And I don't think they should be a defining part of your personhood. But, you know, some people would disagree with me. As like a bisexual man who is feminine, this has huge bearings on what I'm allowed to like, on what I'm allowed to do, and the ways that people perceive me. So because I am feminine, it's like, oh, you're a bottom. And it's like, how old are we? Why don't people know more about this stuff? Why is sex ed in this country so piss poor? Why is this conflation so commonplace? So these are just some ideas that have been flowing through me recently. So yeah, this is another question that has come up again on the timeline, and part of me can understand why this question would come about, because like I said, you know, these antiquated ideas about gender that a lot of us operate under, you know, would produce a question like this. But I just thought that I would answer it. Let me know what you think in the comments below. See you later. Bye, babes.